In MYOB Advanced, you can configure billing rules to aggregate the time and material lines of Forma invoices by date, employee, supplier, and inventory item. To make changes to the billing rule for time and material billing, let's navigate to our billing rules and access the TM billing rule that we previously created. On the left pane, select the Labor by Type step. On the right pane, in the Aggregate Transactions by Sections, select the Inventory ID checkbox to aggregate the transactions by inventory item. In this case, the non-stock item identifying the applicable service. Let's save our changes to the billing rule. If we now open our project, on the Form toolbar, let's click on Run Project Billing. Again, the system creates a Forma invoice. On the Time and Material tab, we can view transaction details for any line by clicking on the line and then on View Transaction Details. In the Transaction Details dialog box, which is now opened in a pop-up window, we can view the list of project transactions corresponding to the invoice line we selected. These transactions were grouped during the billing based on the billing rule settings we specified. The billed amounts of the three lines are 200, 200, and 400. The total billed amount of the transactions is equal to the billed amount of the Forma invoice line, which was 800 as we noted when we clicked on the line. Let's delete the line for which the billed amount is 400 and close the dialog box. Notice that the billed amount of the line is now 400. On the Table toolbar, if we click on Upload Unbilled Transactions, we have a new window open and we can view a list of the unbilled project transactions that can be added to the Forma invoice. The dialog box shows the line that we just removed from the Forma invoice. Let's select the transaction by selecting the checkbox in the Unbilled column and clicking on Upload and Close. The system adds the line to the Time and Material tab of the Forma invoice as a new line by using the billing rule defined for the project task. We can now save our changes, but we will not be releasing the Forma invoice as yet. We have now built the project with a billing rule that has aggregated transactions in the Forma invoice. We also edited an aggregated line on the Forma invoice. In a production situation, at this point, the Forma invoice would be sent to the customer. If the customer was in agreement about the details of the Forma invoice, the Forma invoice would be released, causing an accounts receivable invoice to be generated. If corrections needed to be made to the Forma invoice, they could be made before the accounts receivable invoice is generated.